Well, hello, Joe. How are you this week?
I'm great. How are you this week?
I'm very good, thank you. Welcome. It's a bit cold, but it's sunny here. How's it going in New South Wales?
Oh, we've had the best weather. It's like autumn and spring. It's nice and warm and sunny. And yes, we've had great weather. Yes.
Bless, bless. And it's school holidays here, so I was hoping the kids would get some nicer weather. We had a sunny day, but I went for a walk, but it was still a bit cool. But it's Melbourne. You get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got something special going on today, Joe, don't we?
Yes. Yes, we've got our first guest speaker today, which is very
Yeah.
exciting.
And we are very excited because this is the amazing book, Italian Folk Magic by the amazing Rose Inserra. This book is so hard to find. Okay, it was published September last year, 2024. It took me weeks to track down a copy because everybody sold out. But good thing for the viewers, it's back in stock everywhere. I've seen
Perfect.
it in other bookshops. I've seen it now in like spiritual bookshops, all of that, or spiritual shops. It's back out. So you can go to your QBDs and they can order them for you. But I found it at Readings in Victoria. Do you have Readings in New South Wales, Joe?
No,
Really
no.
well-known bookshop, but I had to travel to St Kilda to go and get my copy. So, they only had one copy. So it's like I went and grabbed it, 10 o'clock in the morning, got it, sat on the couch, and I read it from cover to cover. It's the best read ever. So, without any further ado, we're going to welcome the amazing Rose Inserra to our podcast. So, we're going to bring her
Welcome.
on. So, welcome, Rose. How are you?
Hello, Charles. Hello, Joe. I'm really
Hello.
well. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Thank you for joining us, Rose. This is such a great book. We love it. Where did you get your inspiration to write such an amazing book?
Look, it's all about reclaiming my cultural roots. I've got to the point where years and years of really going undercover, like, although I have an Italian heritage, I blended in so well. But then there came a time when I thought, look, I've got grandchildren now. I know I don't look that old, but I am. I've
Love
got
you.
grandchildren that I need to share the magic and wonder of our Italian folk magic heritage, which is still, some people still look at it like it's witchcraft, it's strega, it's witch. Um, and so I've said, no, it's nothing like that. It's wise women, herbal remedies, fabulous blessings, the lot. So I guess it was just time. It was just the right time. And there was absolutely nothing in Australia. No one had done anything like it. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And lo and behold, as you say, it's hard to get this book because it's the first print run has been sold out and we've just got a new print run. So yeah, I can't wait to see where this takes us all.
It's amazing, Rose, because I shared this as soon as I got a copy. I've just started a TikTok account and I've got like 10 followers. I'm so nobody on TikTok. I put it up there as this is my spiritual read for the weekend. And I was getting comments, oh my God, I'm Italian. I'm in Australia. I didn't even know this book existed. Where can I get it?
Right.
Because it was so, people just resonated with that. And I think that's what I like about this, Rose, is for me, I'm not Italian. I've got my ancestry goes back to Malta, which is not far. It's just up the road. It's like 5 minutes away. But I
That's
could
right.
understand. I could
Yeah.
understand what you were
Mm,
doing and the festivals and the
mm,
rituals and all of that sort of stuff. And the ancestry part at the back, the last chapter, was so relevant for me because it's like we're forgetting our ancestral roots. We're forgetting what
yeah.
made us who we are and how special we are. So
Yeah.
I couldn't put it down, and I was so blessed on the day that I got it. It was raining in Melbourne. It was the crappiest day ever. So great to be on the couch under a blanket having a good read.
Yeah.
And I've got little notes that I've been writing it down because I don't like to write, but I've got little tags and for stuff that
Yeah.
I need to do. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff here because it's not just from where you are in Italy. How did you get your information for what the different regions do for the same type of, like the Malocchio? You've got different cures for how they did it in different regions. How did you get
That's
your
right.
information, Rose?
Well, the good thing for a lot of Italians in Australia, the diaspora is wonderful. So I was leaning on my friends, mostly from the southern part of Italy. So if anywhere from Naples, Calabria, Sicily, and that part of Italy, not so much northern Italy. I will go there and do a bit more research, but most of it was southern Italy. Yeah, a lot of it was that first-hand information that people go, oh, my auntie used to do that. My nonna does this. My mum still does this. So a lot of first-hand knowledge. I also went to a museum in Benevento when I was in Italy. Benevento is just out of Naples. Oh, my Lord. It just blew me away. It just blew me away. I loved it. So much history, so much information, and the actual objects that were used for casting spells, and the whole corno, or the different corni, which are the horns. You might notice I'm wearing one today. So if you see that, that is for good luck, right? That is the horn of good luck. If you wear that, you don't get the evil eye given to you. So yeah, to answer your questions, as many people as I could interview, very different. There's no right or wrong, but just like a good Italian sauce, everybody does it differently. Everyone has their own way of doing it, but it's always delicious. It's always perfect. Yeah.
And as long as it works, I think that's the key. As long as it works for however you do it, and you get the result. Like the Malocchio. So describe to people, Rose, what you think the Malocchio is, or what they might think the Malocchio is if they don't understand what it is. I mean, it's on the cover of the book. Look, it's the eye, like the evil eye. Yeah. What is that for people?
Yeah. So you'll notice the Turkish and some of the Greek, they have the blue evil eye, which is, it doesn't look like with the green. This was like an Italian design that we came up with. So Italians have got the corno. As I said, Greek, Turkish, and some other Middle Eastern countries use the blue eye. So the eye is about you're casting an envy spell on someone through the eye. That's the one. Yes, that's exactly the one, right? And that's more common in people. And so it does basically the same job as this, but culturally it's different. So it kind of has a different connotation. But it's through the eye that people give you envy. So, for example, you're just looking gorgeous. You're going out to dinner. You're out with some friends. They go, oh my God, Rose, you look amazing. You look gorgeous. The next thing you know, you trip over and you break your ankle, right? That, through the eye, although it was well-meaning, like it was complimentary, but somehow there was some element of envy behind it, and therefore you end up hurting yourself. And of course, babies and children are much more susceptible. So I always say, God bless you, God bless you. As soon as you say, oh, what a beautiful baby, oh, God bless you, God bless you, there's always that element of blessings, because the evil eye is so powerful that it can curse you. That's where that comes from. That's the background. Yeah. So I get people saying, oh my God, I've had so much bad luck. Things have gone wrong in my place. I've been sick. I've had arguments. Everything's gone wrong. So then I'll look and do the evil eye removal, and I can usually tell what's been going on. So I have a good look. We go, yep, definitely have it. Let's remove it. Let's bless it. And boom, before you know it, everything settles down again. So yeah, it's very much a cultural thing. But as you said, Charles, I find non-Italians, and I don't know about you, Joe, whether you resonate with this sort of European tradition, because let's face it, most of us come from the Northern Hemisphere. So even the Druids and even other nationalities, they've got a little bit of this in their culture as well. So I'm finding people from all over saying, I don't know, I'm not Italian, but I kind of feel like I get this. This is really, like, I resonate with it. Yeah.
Rose, how do you clear the energy from the evil eye?
Right. Well, there's specific things you do, and I've been fortunate enough that I've had an auntie who's passed down the ritual to me. So it's really special. Like, I was very flattered. So although it's a close practice, I don't know if you've talked about close practices. So a close practice is when you've had something passed down to you through your ancestral line that only you can pass it down to your ancestral line. So the words and rituals I do, right, I don't give them all away. So in my book, I do talk about it and show you the different ways to do it, but I can't use all the words because they were given to me from an aunt, passed down to me on Christmas Eve. That is the most powerful time. Midsummer's Eve is the other one, and New Year's Eve. There's 3 times that if you're going to pass down this tradition, they're the times, the most powerful times to do it. Yeah, so it's about the ritual. Water and oil is my specialty. People do different ways with egg whites in water. You might have known that, Charles. You know, some people do that as well. Smoking, scrying. It's all about removing that, again, that negative energy, right? Whichever way you do it. But, you know, water and oil is my thing. I've got that down pat. Yeah. I can even tell who potentially gave you the evil eye. So I've been practicing.
Is that from how the oil is represented in the water? You can then pick, you know, it might have been a sister-in-law, or do you just go male or female, or how does that look?
Yeah, more male or female. Is it work-related? Is it personal-related? The women, they're tiny little, you know, when you put oil drops in water, they're supposed to basically stay and not disperse, because if you know your science, water and oil do not mix. But if you've got the malocchio, the evil eye, they do. And sometimes you get these long sort of embryonic kind of look. That's very family oriented, the embryo looking blobs.
Wow.
And sometimes you get tiny little circles, and they represent earrings, and they represent women. And so when you get all the little circles, they go, oh, yes, it's these women in your life. So then we look at it and we clear that energy again. Yeah, we bless it and clear it. Fascinating. Yeah, fascinating. Yeah.
How did so if you've had that removed, right? So say you've said, you've got the malocchio, then you release it. How do your clients, I want to use the word client, I don't know why. How do your clients feel after that? Do they feel a shift?
Yes, I get that all the time. Like, oh my God, it just literally whatever it was, just moved, just shifted. So a sense of peace, things starting to go right again. I have, as I said, business people who have businesses. They say, oh my God, my business has dropped. Something's going on. There's obviously some jealousies happening. And honestly, the way you can tell that it's worked is that their business picks up. It's just so obvious. So that's really easy to do, to sort of work out. Yeah, well, once you remove, as you know, you remove anything negative, clean slate, everything's clean. And psychologically too, you know, psychologically, if you're cleansed, like someone's on your side. And it's important for people to feel that, don't worry, there's somebody here looking out for you. I feel that that's really important, spiritually and psychologically as well. Yeah. So I'm the old wise woman, the old wise nonna that's like, right, we're going to fix this. Yes.
I love that.
And I do. I get into it. I really get into it. Like, I physically feel it myself. Like, I feel that release when I've cleared it. And I won't rest until it's gone. Sometimes you've got to do it 3 or 4 times. Other times you've got to repeat it after a month. So you have to keep checking in with people. Say, how are you feeling? What's going on? Yeah. Interesting.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like in the book that you say you sort of say a blessing for the hands, and you wash the hands and cleanse it. And it was like with salt, I think it was. And it was like, wow, this is amazing, because you're getting it all ready before you even started. And you say a prayer to the hands and all of that sort of stuff. It was very, very, very special.
Well, there's a lot of mix with Catholicism, isn't there, really? Because it is part of the old pagan Catholicism, even though people don't want to admit it. But before the Catholicism came along, that's what they were doing. They were doing these rituals. The olive oil, which is blessed, as you know, it's a very ancient oil for blessings. Of course, you'd rub that on your hands, and the salt to purify. Of course, you would do that. And of course, you throw in some, crucifixes and saint medallions, and boom, you've got the whole bang, the whole gang there.
The whole team's there.
The whole team, yeah.
I love it. Joe, have you come across anybody that has had those types of feelings or symptoms where they might have had in your practice? They might have thought they've had the evil eye put on them. Have you ever had to deal with that?
Very much so, yeah. Even on the weekend, there was a lovely man, and he felt like he went to a temple in India, and he felt like that he had been cursed. You know, he was, and so we cleared that away. But, I think people do feel when they've got that, especially that envious curse that Rose was talking about. Yeah.
And you know what's worse, Joe and Charles, is Facebook. Can I just say, or any social media, Instagram, where people go away on holidays. Picture this: Melbourne is. I've just got over a flu, and everyone's been sick, right? And you see people on the beach in Europe sipping their cocktail, and it takes all of my wisdom to go, it's all right, do not be jealous, it's all okay, your turn will come, you'll get better. This is where a lot of that virtual curse comes into it, because even though you don't want to, you can't help it, you're human. You go, I want to be there, it's not fair that I'm not there. And inadvertently, you actually do pass on that envy curse. So we've got to be careful what we post, especially when people here are sick and it's winter and you're out there having fun, enjoying life.
It's so true, Rose, because I'm very skeptical. When I go away, I never post anything. I don't want to post anything because it's like people don't need to know what I'm doing. People don't need to know where I'm at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do it from like a security purpose, but you're just giving me another reason to continue what it is that I do. If, for example, you had that person on a holiday and you've gone, oh, look, I'm so jealous, rah, 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 rah. And then they called you, it's like, Rose, I feel like somebody's giving me the evil eye. Can you do it over the phone for them? Can you do it distantly or do you have to do it in person?
No, look, it's like you guys do readings, Charles. You can do anything over the phone. I usually have a photo of them. I do the blessing and I actually bless them on my phone physically. Get the oil and do the cross on the phone. So everything is, although it's virtual, I'm connecting with them. So yeah, you can do it, and it works just as well. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good to know because you can do it everywhere. Can you clear the Molokia for yourself? It's like if I think I've got it, it's like, oh my God, can I do it for myself or do I need a practitioner to do it on my behalf?
Usually it's better to get someone else. I usually ring up my aunt and says, look, you've got to do this. I usually check that I've got it or haven't got it, and I do my own rituals, but it's not as powerful. It's not as strong. I always feel you need somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah. So like a clear vessel, somebody that might not have the Molokia, clear a vessel can help shift it for you. Okay. This is
perfect. That's probably the best way to describe it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yep. A nice, clean, clear vessel. With this amazing book, you've got lots of remedies, right? How can people use this book in their everyday lives? What can they do from this book, Rose, that they could use every day?
There is so much, as you know, in that book. There are 20,000 words that they were cut out. And I intend to write the second book. I know. There's just so much information. So because the word folk is about the ordinary person, right? This is not fancy schmancy that you need anything that you don't have at home. If you open your pantry, you would have herbs that are protective herbs and allies. Everyone's got oregano, you'd have basil, rosemary, you've got salt, oil, you have all the basic pantry essentials, particularly the Italian, even if you're not Italian, chamomile, they're all really important herbs that are allies, they're protective herbs. You can do so much with just those. Using those, like you can use, like I have, how we smoke sage, for example, white sage. Well, I mean, other than I grow my own sage, just kitchen sage, we have bay leaves because the bay tree is sacred to the Romans and was sacred to the ancient Greeks. So I just cut the leaves, dry them, and I fumigate. I use them to smoke and smudge, right? Instead, with rosemary, dried rosemary. So you're using exactly the same idea about fumigation and cleansing by using traditional herbs that is in my DNA and to be in your DNA as well, because that's what our ancestors would have used as part of their kitchen herbs, etc. So there are so many. I don't know where to start, but basically everyone should have a basil plant at the front door and the back door. It's just the most protective plant you can have. Rosemary needs to grow in your house because rosemary's protection and it's just keeps the bad stuff away. What else? Oh, I don't know what it's that. Let's say salt. Now I've got salt under my front door. I clean it every week. So you get the coarse salt, like the sea salt, because salt is a purifier, and it also obviously protects you, but it keeps away the really bad stuff. So if anyone comes over your threshold through your front door, You have got protection there in a circle. I shove it under my mat, my front door mat, leave it there for a week, wait for things to come in, etc. It absorbs the bad energy, and then I throw it out in the rubbish bin and it gets taken away. So things like that. And if that becomes like an everyday thing, like I've got lavender growing because lavender is also very protective. Just the plants that you've got, the herbs, the salt, the oil that you use. Basically, you know, wow. You're a little witch. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just becomes so easy to do it. It's in your pantry. You don't have to use any special equipment. Use your pots that you've got. In Italy they used to use the terracotta tiles from their roofs that had broken off to smudge things with. That's where they used to smudge it. They didn't have any fancy things. That was it. So I go back to my roots. Like, what have I got hanging around that I can just do things with? So people can, as long as they can, you really resonate with these herbs. You learn about them, and then you just use them as you would any other magical ally, I suppose. Yeah,
I love it because after reading. Sorry, go.
I was just going to say, do you have anything about cinnamon? Do you ever throw cinnamon out your door? Yeah,
all the time. First day of the month.
The
first day of the month, you get your cinnamon and you blow it into your front door. Into, because that brings in wealth. That is about it. So cinnamon is all about wealth and well-being. Really important part of our culture too, cinnamon. So that is used all the time. And while I've been sick at winter, I mean, what I do on the pot, I have going oranges, lemons, cloves, cinnamon, bubbling away really on low for the entire day. And it fills up the whole house with this beautiful aroma, but it's cleansing and purifying. It's also good for health. And again, it connects me with the orange groves in Italy and the lemon groves, the cloves, as you say, the cinnamon, the rosemary. Like it's just, I'm there. I'm literally there. And so by transporting yourself into another place while you're not well, it lifts you up. It just cleanses you, gives you that boost. Fabulous. Wonderful. Yeah. So that's how you can use it. Like it doesn't have to be really hard, you know.
And that's what I like, Rose, with this book. It's like a cookbook. It's like a spell book. You've got everything in there. How to make black salt, all of this stuff. You've got all the recipes in there. Like I've got one tagged here. For people that want to use like protection, there's like a simple protection oil spell. And it's so simple. You just need basil, cinnamon, lavender, and rosemary. A carrier oil. So you offer, olive oil or coconut or jojoba oil and a glass jar and a container. Whack it all together. Let it sit for a few weeks, shake it every few days, and then you can pop it on your skin and it's a protection oil. How simple is that?
Yeah, that's right. And that's the whole thing.
I love this.
Yeah.
You've got the spells, you've got the incantations, you've got the recipes, and then you've got that advice. Plant basil. So you said basil. And when you were talking before about rosemary, I went to a funeral a few weeks ago, and they gave everybody a sprig of rosemary just to remember this person by. Something inside me said, pop it in a glass of water, and I change the water every few weeks, and I've just planted it right next to the front door. And it's like the universe says, I don't know where I've got to go. I don't know where I've got to put this. And the universe goes, it's going right in the sun, right next to the front door, Charles. It's like,
door.
Okay.
Yep.
And then bravo. So now I've got to get some basil to pop next to it, and I've got to put some salt out the front. But this is great. It was such a good book. And I think you really do need to do like another volume or another chapter or whatever it is. No, probably another volume, because there's so much there. This is just the tip of the iceberg, Rose. This is, this is it. What's your favorite part of the book? What's the part that sings to you? I mean, it's an amazing book, but what aspect of this book sings to you? Because you've got stuff in there on the archangels, you've got ancestry, you've got food, you've got herbs, you've got witchy spells, all of that sort of stuff, festivals. There's a lot in there to dissect and go through. What's your favorite part of this book?
I honestly say I can't say I have a favorite part. I just wish I could write a little bit more. Probably what I miss in a book, rather than favorite, is I want to have more in-depth knowledge. What they cut out, what Rockpool cut out, was the history behind it. And because I'm a ex-history teacher, history, I think, puts everything into perspective and puts it together. So you understand why these things are important. And I guess that's the bit I miss a little bit more. So the bit that's more historical to me makes sense. It explains my own heritage, because Italy's got 20 separate regions, right? But Italy wasn't united till 1861. They were just all different city-states belonging to other countries. They weren't an actual country in itself. So you can imagine they had their own dialects, their own food. They looked different because they had different people that were there over time. So, of course, when you put a book together, you've got 20, literally 20 different races, so to speak. You know, we have things in common. But when I speak my dialect, if you speak to somebody from another region, they go, I don't understand a word you're saying. And that's the uniqueness of it. So I think that part of it is really important for me, that I would like to explain a little bit more of the original pre-Roman and what happened, and the whole, you know, the Greek background as well. To me, that's because I'm a history buff. I don't know. People might not be interested, but I love the history and the mystical part of it. You know, the Pythias, the oracle tellers, you know, the ancient witches, you know, Hecate, what was she doing in Benevento, and why have we got a stregoneria named after the witches, which is delicious, by the way. Yes, like awesome. And what are the spices? There's secret spices in there. Did they use those as flying ointments? I believe they did. So that's the intrigue. I just want all those more mystical things in there. I think that's what I'm missing. Yeah.
And I was fascinated when you were talking about the aperitifs and the digestives.
Yeah.
And the spices in these drinks and how they've come all the way down the line and they were doing different things. And and you've got the stuff in there about the parasites and being shocked, psychic shock, I think it was. And it's like, wow, okay, there's so much in there that it's just captivating.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to know. I just delved a little bit in for the ordinary person who just wanted to find out a little bit about it. I didn't want to go too in depth. So I hope it's obviously hit the market because everyone can see a little bit of something that they're interested in. Yeah. So that's been a good thing with a book. As you know, Joe, you know, when you're writing, you just want to put so much in there, but sometimes less is more, and simple is better than too much detail. So I think I've hit the market just right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've done well, because then you can gauge what the response is, and then people can come to you and say, well, this is what I loved about it. Can we do more? Or I need to know more about that. And that's where you might find the next book might have a little bit more history or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll go further north. Yeah.
Do you think you'll do another book like that, Rose?
It's all about the marketing and the market. At the moment, I have written a card deck on Italian folk magic, and that's been really interesting because it's totally different. So it's not from here, it's got to be from here. And as you know, Charles, when you're working with cards, is a different ball game, and it's never been done before. So it'd be interesting to see. At the moment, we're working out images, what is the best approach to design, and at the same time, how can people use this when it has to come from the heart space? How do you do it? So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'd love to do another book, as I said, later on, take different regions and really exploit them, like Sardinia is the most fascinating island in Italy because it's one of the most ancient. And it's totally different to anything you've ever seen or heard. So a lot of that stuff, maybe, we'll see what happens. Maybe your viewers can let us know what they want, don't want. If there's a request, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Happy to go for it. Yeah.
Because you might be able to do one for each particular region, like the north, the south, the islands. Do you know what I mean? And just set a theme for each book. It's like, this is for, Sicily, and this is for Sardinia. This is Puglia. This is Rome. This is Trieste. All the different areas.
You're onto something, Charles. I like the way you think. Very structured. I love it.
I like what they did with this, with the colors. The black was so striking, and I thought, they've written on black paper. Was that intentional, or is that just the publisher decided, well, we'll do something different with it?
A bit of both. So this has won 2 cover awards, this book, for the cover, which is really interesting. It's a big American competition that they run, very mainstream, and because it's so striking, and part of it was the black on the side to kind of give the ambience. Now, we haven't written on black because I didn't really want anything written on black. It's very hard to read. But just as an edging, it's a bit spooky. It's a little bit out there, you know. So it's all about the look. Yeah, as you can see, even the covers are really out there. Yeah.
I think you've done really well because
intentional.
that black on the edge, it just drew me in straight
Drew.
away, and the colors were just like. And it's funny because I went into the bookstore. I looked online at the Readings bookstore, and they said there's one available in Chadstone, one available in St Kilda. This was Saturday afternoon. I thought, too late. I drove there on Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, and as soon as they opened the doors, I went straight to this spirit, and it wasn't there. And I thought, no, what's going on? I've driven all this way. So I asked somebody, and I showed them the picture of the book. He goes, oh, I know that one. It's out the back. We've only just got it in, and you've just got the last copy or the only copy that we had. And it's like, so it worked on many levels because they see this striking cover and they know it. They know it. It's very, very special.
That's good marketing. That's really good marketing. That's half the battle these days with books. I mean, if people to get to the content, you've got to get that front cover just right to attract people in the first place. So the two really go hand in hand. Yeah.
No, it's very good. Now, in here, you've got lots of remedies, and you've just described one before about you when you were unwell, and you pop the water on, you put the cinnamon and the lemons and the herbs and spices just to create this purity and purification and cleanse around you. Are there other remedies that you've got in here that are your favorites that the viewers could use in their everyday lives?
Oh,
I'll put you on the spot there, Rose. I know because there's
put me
so
on the
much
spot.
in there.
What's that, man? A protection blends. There's just so much. I'm actually trying to think. What do I do? Can't think.
There's so
I can't
much.
think anything. There is so much that, as you know, it's a big book. I'm trying to think of something specific. Tea, tea.
I like it. You've got the tea. You've got divination with eggs.
Yes, as I was saying before. Yeah.
And the other thing that you do, this is not a remedy. This is more like a ritual where you get the pendulum and you do the baby, the wedding ring over the belly, and it tells you whether it's going to be a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's great. But there's stuff in here too. That's like little rituals where you can pray to, the saints or the archangels and who they are and what they will do for you. I thought that was really good too, because people could invoke that in their everyday lives. Talk to these archangels or saints.
We have ancestral altars are really a big thing. They're huge in Italian homes. You would have gone to any Italian home and you would have seen some sort of a little like on a mantelpiece. You'd have the photos of someone who's passed away. You would have candles next to it. You'd have holy water from Lourdes or one of the pilgrimages, because the hot water is very special for us. So you're never alone. Like everyone still lives in the house. They might have died, but they still live in the house with the saints and with the ancestors. And it's this constant. I do it all the time. It's constant. Conversation that I have. Like I'll say, Michael, my God, please, I need you today. I can't handle this. I need you to come and cut the cords or stand beside me and be strong. Or I call on my father who's passed on. Like, come on, Dad, you know what I have to do. I'm going to light the candle for you. Just make this happen. And you feel like you're surrounded by it. And it's just so, to me, it's like second nature, because I've set up these places. I'm not sure people have crystals, which I have crystals as well. I've got everything. It's not just one specific thing, but having things around you that evoke something inside of you, it's part of the magic. It's part of the magic. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There was something you touched on in the book, and I chuckled to myself. So you talked about Padre Pio in the book.
Yeah.
And most people will have a Padre Pio on their altar. And I remember my grandmother, she must have been, and she was from Malta, but she traveled to Italy all the time because she had relatives in Italy. And behind her door was a ceramic plaque with a painting of Padre Pio. Every time we'd slam the door, it would hit the wall. And I remember the Padre Pio with such joy and such reverence that when my grandmother passed away, I said, I want that. I want to take that. I've got that. And I've got that on my altar. And it's just like, okay. And these are little things that, yeah, not being of Italian descent, but it resonated with me because it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, my granny had it. And it was that's what I really liked about this book, Rose, because it really connected me with what my grandparents used to do, what they used to believe. Like one of them, and I've forgotten we used to do it at home. If we used to drop salt, we'd pick it all up and throw it over your left shoulder.
Left shoulder. Yes. Yes.
Did you do that, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten what that was all about, and I haven't done that for years. And it's just like because it's all come up in this book. It's just like, oh my goodness gracious me, that's very interesting. And one of the things that you said, and I'm just jumping a little bit, but dropping bread, superstitious, dropping bread. And it's like, wow, I don't ever remember dropping bread, but all these superstitions about breads and salts, that's what this is good because it's the folk magic and you're bringing back the magic that, you know, you've got to do these things. And my father was English and he was very much, oh, you dropped the salt, throw it over your left shoulder. And it's like, wow. So it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's very
In the book,
cross-cultural. Yeah.
It really is. It really is. And that's what I like about it. And that's what I think the viewers will love about it, that you don't have to be of Italian descent to understand the concepts in this book because it's, as you said, it's a European thing. You know, the Italians were so close to the Greeks, to the Maltese, to Northern Africa. It's all the same. Continental Europe, they're all connected. So it's really interesting. Are there any remedies that you use that you've put in this book that you would use in your everyday life besides the one that you've just told us about with the pot and the being unwell? Is there anything that you would use for yourself on a regular basis?
Yeah, just to touch on, you were talking about before, what were you just saying about, well, not the babies, something else, I forgot. It'll come back to me. I just was going to add on.
Not this, Rose.
Bit.
Not this.
Yes. So, you know, we were talking about the evil eye. And if you haven't got one of these, you do this, right? But you do it behind. If you think someone is giving you the evil eye, you do that behind you. And that means the energy goes away, goes back to them, or it goes beyond you. It bypasses you. So if you see someone spitting, dry spit, like purr, like that, that's one way, or this. So they're little things you can protect yourself with. You know,
I'll do it all.
that and then the salt with the left, because the devil is
salt. That's exactly right.
Yes, it's the devil. You know, over the left shoulder. Absolutely. Yeah. So my kitchen is full of all the different things. Other than having a little kitchen witch, one thing you can do and carry with you. So Italians would carry a little red ribbon. And the women will put it in their bra, they'll pin it in their bra for, again, good luck and fertility. And they do that with babies as well. So that is with me whenever I go somewhere new, that I need good luck and I need fertility. When I say fertility, it's not about having children, it's about being successful. So that red is, and again, just like the cover of the book, red and the corno, usually you can get red ones. Whatever you've got that's red, you always have it with you. That's a really important thing. I also have little bunches of herbs. So, and I tie them with a red ribbon, right? A little red tie. And that sits above my kitchen all the time. Yeah, that if you're going to be a kitchen witch, an Italian kitchen witch, you wrap your basil, your oregano, you wrap your rosemary, your bay leaf, little bundle, and you hang it there. And you just wait for it, and for as long as it dries out, just keep it there and keep changing it. And chilies, dry chilies, fantastic. So the whole kitchen is like nothing gets through. Because think about it, why is the kitchen so important? Why? I'm going to give you questions now, Charles and Joe. Why is the kitchen such a special place for magic?
For magic? Well, the kitchen for me is the heart of the home.
Yeah.
That's where everything is. So magic, as you said before, Rose, you've got all of that stuff in your cupboards. So, yeah,
but why
you can
not in the
create a lot
garden?
of things.
Why not just in the garden? Why in the kitchen?
But we spend, look, I can't speak about Joe or can't speak on behalf of, I spend more time in the kitchen than I do in the garden.
What about you, Joe?
I think it's like the creative hub of your home, you know, and it's the abundance, it's the food that you're going to provide your family to eat to keep them healthy.
And not only that, you ingest those foods. So the important thing is you are ingesting the magic that those foods and herbs provide. And when you cook, as you say, when you're creative and you cook with love, like I never cook when I'm angry, not because it never turns out great. So if you cook with love, you cook with the herbs with the intention. When I'm cooking with the herbs, I thank the herbs and I ask them to keep me healthy and safe, to bring abundance and wealth. All those things in my head, I do it as I put them in there. And because I grow my own, I feel like this really, as you know, it's not hard to grow your own herbs. Feel this connection. It's like we're in this together and we're going to make the whole family feel good. And so if you're ingesting these and you're thinking this, it creates that magic that you wouldn't get just by doing just like a simple spell. Look, I've done certain spells like the freezing spell. I can talk to you about the freezing spell and the burning of things, the cutting ties. That's more like, what would you call it? Not black magic. What would you call it, Charles? It'd be more like...
Intention? Like just giving it some physical intention?
Yeah. So it's slightly different. It's still part of the whole witchcraft, stregoneria type of thing. But it's, as I said, to me, it's through the food, through the blessings, through the ancestors, through the family. To me, that's my strength. That's where my heritage is. But also, you don't want to cross me either, because I have got ways that you can use those things that are my allies. I can use them to not so much to harm anyone, but to protect me and my family. So, for example, I used a spell to get rid of someone, okay? Not literally. Not literally. They're not sleeping with the fishes, no. There are times, so I'll just confess, I had a client and they said, look, I need this person out of my life because they're not good for me. And I've asked them to leave and they won't leave. And I don't want anything terrible to happen to them, but I just need them gone. So like a banishment spell. I said, well, how much do you want me to banish? Because there's banish and banish. I said, once I do this, I believe they'll never contact you again. So you've got to be really careful when you ask someone or you do a banishing spell that they've got to go. I said, look, I'll start with the frozen technique. You write the person's name on a piece of paper and you ask them to release the other person. You put that in the freezer with water and you just let it sit there. So that person basically is on ice, is on hold. Nothing's happening, right? However, if it's still, that person doesn't mean they're out of your life. You hear about them, they may not contact you, but they're still in your life. So if that's not strong enough and that person feels like, you know what, I need to really cut ties, then I ask very much, how much do you want to cut? So then what I do, I thaw it out. It's all nicely undone, wait for it to dry, and I take it in I've got a big fire pit outside, and then I burn it. And so you use the water and the burning and ask for never, ever to return. Ashes to ashes. And the ashes then are buried. So it's a bit of a blessing. And then, boom, gone. And you never hear from them again. So that is the ultimate Italian banishment spell.
Wow.
I love it. So let me ask you a question, Rose, because last week we discussed on a quick video that we did karma. So with this banishment spell, by putting somebody in the freezer, would that attract any karma?
You, in terms of the person who's put it, for me or for the person?
Not you, because you're just doing the ritual on behalf of another person, like a third party. So the person that wanted that done, would they attract karma for putting somebody in the freezer and then ultimately putting them in the fire if they wanted complete banishment?
Oh, look, I don't believe so, because if it's done for a reason, if it's it's all about intention, right? If they're doing it out of spite, I go, forget about it. Not doing it. You've got to deal with it. But if it's something they're feeling like they can't cut the ties for whatever reason, could be an ex that keeps coming up, and they can't release that relationship. That relationship is really not good for them, right? Or, you know, usually family member, usually someone pretty close that they just need to get literally cut ties with. So I don't believe that it's karma, because they're looking after their own mental and physical and psychological well-being, and you're not hurting the other person. The other person just all of a sudden has no interest in you anymore, and that's it.
Okay.
So then you can't change your mind. You're like, oh, really? I wasn't sure. I didn't want them that much out of my life. I go, no, once they're gone, they're gone. The freezer stage is they're always there. You can always grab them back. But the burning stage, they're gone. Forget about it.
Okay. So I like that. So if it's in their highest good to have this person out of their life, there'll be like no karma that's been attracted, because it's in their highest good to remove this person once and for all from their being, for whatever reason that might have been.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. Now, in the book, something special. Stuff just keeps jumping into my head, Rose.
Oh, tell me what.
Friday is a good day to find love, but Friday is not a good day to get married. Explain that to us, Rose. Why would that be a good day to find love, but not a good day to get married?
Well, because venerdì, which is Italian for Friday, comes from Venere, which is another with the Italian word for Venus. So Venus is all about love. It's wonderful. But Venus is not about settling down. Venus is love, free love. So that's why you never ever get married on a Friday, because it won't last. It's just passionate love, right? It's not long-lasting love. It's Venus's day. Yeah.
Okay, so if you find love on a Friday, to keep the love, you wouldn't then marry on a Friday. You'd marry on a Saturday. I think in the book, was Saturday the best day to get married?
Yeah, or Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. And
That's
Tuesday is Mars. I know, it's crazy. Like Tuesday is martedì, which is Mars Day. The god Mars, the god of war. So bad for business. You don't ever start a business on a Tuesday, or don't do anything around your business that's a new project on a Tuesday. Same thing, because Mars is unpredictable. We don't know what happens when Mars gets in the way. Yeah. So Tuesdays and Fridays, you just got to be careful of. They're the two main ones. The rest of the days are fine.
It's so interesting. And that's why I love it, because you turn the page and you go into another chapter, and we've left something behind, like a concept or an idea. And then you've opened up this whole new way of thinking into another chapter. And it's just like, wow. Because it's like, oh, yeah, Venus, Friday. Yeah, that's great. And then it's like, yeah, get married on a Friday because you're all in love. No, that's lust.
No.
It's not long-term relationship.
That's it.
Why.
Yeah.
And I get that's why you said before that you would have liked to have included more history, so that you could come into beliefs over, 1,000 years. And this is why we did this. This is why we did this. So that people, but there's in this book, look, love spells. I'm not very good at holding this up. Love spells and stuff like that. This is so powerful, and I really like it. And look, magical self-love. So these are like your little recipes inside. It's just amazing. I really, really like it. Now, this isn't your only book, Rose. This is your latest book. Okay, this is your latest book. But I've got other books of yours here, because you're a specialist in dreams. Inside your dreams. Oh my goodness gracious me. So for those that dream a lot, do you dream a lot, Rose?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I analyze my own dreams.
Sometimes, probably once or twice a week I can remember them, but not a lot, no.
Yeah, same. I'm the same as Joe. And I told you this, Rose, many years ago. It's like, I very rarely dream. It's just like I close my eyes and it's black, and then it's 8 hours has passed. But that's if you're a dreamer, guys, get this one. But if you want to understand also what the dreams mean, this is your dictionary of dreams.
Yeah, I love
that.
I
had a long time ago. Yeah,
it is. I had a dream. That was what day is it today? Today we're taping on a Monday. It was Saturday night or Sunday night. It was one of them, Saturday night. Yeah. And I couldn't get to sleep. And it's like, why am I struggling to get to sleep? What's going on? Because I went to bed early too. And it's like, I've got to go to bed. And then I just lie there. And it's just like, what's happening? All of a sudden I went to sleep. And then something happened. And it's like in my head, it's like, you've cracked the code. You know how to get into it. And it's like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I know I'm getting into something. I don't know what it is. And then I'd wake up and it's like, it doesn't matter. You can go back to sleep. You got the code. And I just go straight back to sleep. And it was like this stupid, and it was like this big yellow canister that I could just jump in and I'd go to sleep. And it was like, so when I dream, Rose, they're really random, like that sort of stuff. It's out there. This is another one that we've done a lecture on, Rose. And I sell a lot of these at the market because this is a really good book for aliens and the unexplained, just unexplained phenomena. Where does it come from? How does it happen? All of that sort of stuff. So you've got those. So this is just some of your books because you do a lot of children's books as well, Rose. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Now, this is the most amazing deck ever. Be very, very proud of this, Rose. I've sold so many of these. This is your Mist of Avalon. And I really love this. And when you pull the card and you got the 4 words on the card, you've got the person, you've got the story of who the person is, and then you've got the meaning. It's like, oh, wow, it makes a lot of sense. This is one of my best sellers. And people are really connecting to this at the moment. With a lot of people are going to Glastonbury, they're going to Stonehenge, Avalon, all of that sort of stuff. So this is a really relevant. And this is where you started, your dreams. Okay, but this is a different deck because this is 2 decks in one. There was 2 colored decks and you've got the little sweet dreams, how to get yourself to sleep at night. So you've achieved quite a lot, Rose.
Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration to do all of this spiritual stuff? What was it that triggered Rose on this amazing journey that you've had in this life so far?
I'll tell you what, Charles and Joe, in short, I'm not really sure the exact thing that I have. I just have these feelings, really strong. I feel like a little kid. I've got big feelings. I started writing children's books because I was home when my kids were young. Rather than go out to work, I was an ex-teacher, so educational books. So I've written over 70 or 80 books in educational space, little readers, resource books, and they're still out there. And I get a lot of pleasure out of it because it's rewriting my childhood, but also educating. I'm really big on education. This is why I write books, because I want to teach people information, bring back the mystical. I've always had something's calling me from far, far away. I don't know what it is. The Avalon one was extraordinary because I felt that was channeled. I don't even remember how I wrote it or what I wrote. I just knew. I sat down and all this information just came rushing through. And I went to Glastonbury twice. And so I felt that that's where the download came back to Australia, and I just like worked my ass off literally to get it so that the emotions and the feelings would all come out on paper. So there's a drive. I don't know what it is, but it's like the dreams. It's the mystical in the everyday, because I feel like we've lost the art of mysticism, and whether it's Padre Pio or whether it's the Avalon, whatever that is for people, I feel like we're too pragmatic, we're too negative. We're living in a world where the mystery of life is gone, and I want to bring back that mystery back now. I really do. So who knows what my next topic is, but I'm definitely looking at different, whether it's aliens, Avalon, dreams, Italian magic. They're all the mysteries that people can't quite explain, but they know there's a connection there. And I think that's what gives me that buzz, like I'm bringing this sacred knowledge back, like your dream, Charles, like I've cracked it. I know, I've cracked the code. You just feel like you're doing something purposeful.
Yeah. I was so happy in that dream, Rose. I never understood it. I was so happy. It's like, in my head, it's like, I've been doing this for years and I got it. I did it. And I don't even know what it is that I did, but I got it. But I understand what you're saying with this, because I feel like a lot of people have lost their imagination.
Yes.
Too many people are living in a world of instant dopamine hits, and they've lost that amazing ability to think for themselves, or to read actually a great book and just picture yourself wherever that book is written, like a fiction book, and then off you go. So I hear you that I feel like a lot of people have lost the joy and imagination and lost that ability to find where is this information coming from? Where is this mystical information? How do I find it? Where do I go and get it? And that's sad. But this is where this book really reawakened a lot of things inside me I'm 54. So it would have been 35, 40 years ago. that I used to do as a child with my grandparents or my parents, and then we just stopped doing it. We just forgot all about it until you reawakened it inside me. And it's like, I don't want that to finish. I don't want that, because that was joy. I'm reading this with smiles on my face because it was pure joy of what you had brought back into my world. Even though, as I said, I'm not Italian, but it was pleasure. It was a pleasure to read. So congratulations on an amazing book.
Thank you,
because it's amazing. So I'm going to put the cover on the book so everybody can see it. That's the book that Rose has put out, The World of Italian Folk Magic and Herbal Cures from the Wise Women of Italy. Isn't it interesting that a lot of the magic comes down the maternal line, not the paternal line, more so. It's always the feminine that bring it. And I like this. And I was reading something the other day that the way that we talk, it's going to be more storytelling, back to the future's going back to the past, if that makes sense, that we're going to go back to telling stories to communicate with people instead of, go and look at it in an encyclopedia, go and look at it. It's going to be, no, do this, put these potions together, put these herbs together, and you're going to create amazing things. So I like that you've created this, and I like that you've brought out the inner child in me through reading this, because it makes me think, there's so much more now. Let's go, let's play, and let's get creative. And that's what this book allows you to do, to play and get creative. As long as you've got the right intention. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to put stuff out there that's going to cause, harm for people. But you don't put that in that book, because this is a great book. And there's a lot of cautions in this book too, which is quite good. So it's really, really well. For people that want to buy the book direct from Rose and Rockpool, this is a QR code. And I'm going to leave it there so that you can see it. So that's a little QR code that will take you. Is that to the Rockpool website, Rose?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that way, Rockpool is the publisher of all of Rose's books. So if you want the Italian Folk Magic book, you can get it direct from Rockpool. If you want any of the other books, if they've got them in stock, you can get them there as well. And Rose is available to do speaking gigs and stuff like that, aren't you, Rose? I've been onto your website and you've got all of these amazing things for a few hours. You can do speaking gigs on the Italian Folk Magic or Dreams or Avalon. There's lots of things that we can often find you, Rose, doing guests visits to like Spellbox, the Cauldron, lots of different spiritual shops and stuff like that. So if they go to your website, I'm going to pop it up for our viewers to see the website. This is your website, roseinserra.com. So if our viewers want to go to your website, and there's a blog, so that sort of posts where you're at, what you're doing, all of that sort of stuff. So they can do that. If they want to engage with you, they can contact you through the website. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, please do. I do molecular removals free of charge, because I feel like it's a gift that's been given to me. And so I give that back to people. So if you feel like you've got something, contact me, and I'm definitely more than happy to do that. I'm going to be running a molecular tour in Logon Street in September. So that's going to be fun, with coffee and sweets, like, of course, food, readings, Bella Charms is a beautiful jewelry store where you can buy all the different charms from Italy. So it's a bit of fun. So I'm going to incorporate the fun aspect with with the information as well. Yeah, lots of things coming up. Yeah.
Good on you. And you keep the fun high, keep the fun happening. You're keeping your vibration high. So if you're removing the molecular and you're doing it with fun and joy, it's not going to come back as easily.
Exactly. Spot on.
I love it, Rose. I love it.
So good.
So go to the Rose's website, roseinserra.com. There's lots of amazing things there. And grab some of her, with the QR code, go and grab some of her books and the cards, because trust me, you're not going to regret this card deck. I've sold so many of them, and they are amazing, Rose. This connects me. This is how I started my spiritual path. It's like, why am I connected to Merlin? And then when you did these cards, it's like, that's why I'm connected to Merlin. He's a magician. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So thank you for coming on our little show, Rose. We sincerely appreciate it. We appreciate your time. We appreciate all of the energy that you give to the world by creating these amazing things. And we understand, and particularly Jo, because like yourself, she's putting out a book. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff just to get it typed up and ready. Then you got to edit, and reduce, edit, publish, promote. it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work. So from our viewers and myself and Joe, thank you for doing the work, because you are enlightening us all in a better way of living, in a more mystical way of living. And that just brings a smile to my dial every day.
Thank you both so much. Sometimes I wonder, what am I doing this for? I could be doing bodice rippers and romance and, and yet I'm doing this work. So I appreciate so much. You put so much time and effort. And obviously, Charles, you really enjoyed the book because you've read it from cover to cover, and it's resonating, which to me, it's like, yes, it's meant to be out into the world. So I really appreciate you guys giving me the airway, the time. Really, really, thanks for supporting me. It really means a lot. It means I won't give up. I'll keep going with the next
thing, Rose. And we'd like to have you on our show for whatever you want to discuss. If you want to do a dream show, we'd love to have you on. So viewers, if you want to see more of Rose, please pop it in the comments. Don't forget to like our video and hit the bell for your notifications and subscribe. And we might have more of Rose on in the future. So thank you for participating, Joe. You have a lovely week.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks again. Bye. Bye.